If you want to see change in your child's eating habits without pressure, constant mealtime battles, or the shame you grew up with, you're in the right place. Welcome to Family in Focus. I'm Dr. Wendy Schofer, the pediatrician helping parents lead meaningful change without harm. Here we focus on the connection and practical shifts that help families thrive at every size. Let's get started. Families are hungry, and it is not what you think. Welcome to season 2 of Family in Focus. I am so grateful that you have taken the time out of your busy schedule to be here with me today. I'm Wendy, and we're going to be having some conversations. So pull up a seat, have some coffee. I definitely will be. So I really appreciate that you're here because, there are a lot of things on your plate. Um, a lot of things in your life as far as work and relationships and raising kids. And then there's all the questions that we have about how do I feed them? How do I help them, really be healthy amidst all of the different messages about body, about what to eat, what not to eat, about mental health and screens. And oh my God, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Parents are like, what the heck am I supposed to do? So much competing information. And it feels like we're drowning. It feels like we're failing. And that is really where I've heard loud and clear from parents, but also from my own experience that it is time to be able to connect and to really create the changes that we want to see in our homes. Now, let's be clear. So many of the concerns that we have right now for our children's health is about their eating habits. Maybe you have a picky eater. Maybe you have a child who eats everything in sight, and you have another child who will barely eat a thing. Maybe there's one who eats way too fast. Maybe there's another one who just won't eat the healthy foods that you make. And perhaps you have that lingering feeling that you're not in the place to be able to help your child because you've struggled with your own weight or eating habits, or you know the experience of shame and control and pressure around your food choices, around your body, and you don't want to impart that on your children. This is where we are right now as parents. This is how we're trying to navigate and why it makes so much sense that we feel stuck because we want to be able to do all the right things for our children. And quite honestly, it's really hard to figure out what that actually is. So, first of all, I want to say that if any of those things sound familiar to you, and likely it's many of the above, you're not alone. You are not alone. You are in the right place because we're going to be having conversations, really having conversations about what it is that we want and how to make that happen without creating harm, without the shame, without the pressure. And yes, this is possible. So let me introduce you to a family that I met back in the office. My goodness, it was probably about 10 years ago now. So Emily came into the office with her mom for a 6-year well visit. And I had never met them before. They had always seen my partners, so I still had to get to meet them, but I did see her growth chart, and I saw that she had always been growing over the 85th percentile for her weight and her body mass index, which means that if I'm following the diagnostic terms, she's, she has a diagnosis of overweight. And it's something that I was like, okay, take that information, go into the office. And I asked about everything. Okay, what does she like to do? How is she doing at school? Tell me about your friends. Tell me about sleep. And what do you like to eat? What do you do to play? All the things. And Emily was doing great. She was one heck of a fun kid. And at the end of the visit, I was like, you know what? She's doing great. 2 thumbs up. I'll see you next year. And mom came over and she whispered to me, she's like, when are you going to talk to me about her weight? And her mom started getting tears in her eyes. And she said, every single time I come to the doctor, I always hear that I need to change what I'm doing. I have to change how I'm serving, I have to change the meals that I'm serving. I have to increase her activity. I am failing Emily because she keeps on growing. She's still above whatever that percentile is. I'm failing. And So she and I had our own private conversation about how she's not failing. Emily, first of all, is thriving, and mom is a key part of that. She is a big reason why Emily is thriving, and it has nothing to do with her weight. It's through that conversation that I could finally hear what was actually on mom's mind, what was keeping her awake at night, why she didn't want to come into the doctor's office again because she thought that she was going to be shamed about how her child, who was growing normally and doing all the right things, about how she's growing. It's time that we stop defining our children's health based off of growth charts, that we stop defining how parents are doing based off of how our children are growing or eating or what they weigh, or off of our own experiences. And this is a big shift because we've grown up in a culture that is so body focused, so weight centered. It's diet culture, it's fitness culture, it's the health culture, it's all the baloney, but it's so many things that are just layered on top of one another. And so I'm here to call it out. I am here to say, I am a pediatrician. I am a mom. I have seen firsthand in my office, in my community, in my own home, how this is not helping us. In fact, our focus on weight, on the scale, on every micromanagement step that we can do with our children is actually creating harm. And if we're going to create change, because there are a lot of changes that we do want to make, we can make change without harm. And here's how. We're going to be breaking this down throughout our time together. It's through focusing on connection, on relationships, about the emotions that are behind the scenes. Remember when I spoke about the pressure and the control and the shame? Oh, that's all the emotions that are going on back there. That's what's causing the harm. Now, those emotions are not wrong, but they are great signals for us to know, you know what? Are we helping, or is this something that's disrupting the relationships that we actually want to have? So we're going to be getting into this so much more over the course of our time together. This season is really going to be about the language of emotions, emotional health, what that has to do with our eating habits, with our relationships, how to create the relationships that we really want to see in our family around food, around our bodies, and most importantly, with each other. So we're going to be walking through this all along the way. I invite you to pull up a seat, pull up a cup of coffee, and join me. Join me in the conversation. Now, part of that conversation is that I also want to hear from you. Quite honestly, one of the biggest sources that I have for my podcast episodes is your questions. What are the questions that are keeping you awake? What are the things that you're like, I don't know how to approach this? I really welcome you to share those questions with me. I'm also going to be sharing with you over the course of this season conversations with folks that I just adore. So they may be my friends, my colleagues, my clients. It's really about having conversations with people, being real, and keep me honest. That's what I'm offering with you here, real conversations. And yeah, I mean, honestly, that's where connection and relationships really grow. So let's get started. I ask you right now to like, follow, subscribe, because this way you will make sure that you do not miss a single episode, and share with your friends, because this conversation is one that I think a lot of people would like to be a part of. If you'd like support putting this into practice in your home, learn how I work with families at wendyschofermd.com. Hey, while I'm a doctor, I am not your doctor. This podcast is for education, not medical advice. It's never a prescription, so take what fits and please leave the rest. And remember, you are the parents creating the change that your family needs. Welcome to the movement. Hey, it's time to go check out the next episode.